Minutes ago, Curtis Edwards absolutely killing Southampton. Their dummy half right now. Dummy half. It goes to the half back now in Telepau, and he tries to get away from 1-2. Does get the ball at the back, and now in the middle of the field, they are going straight through. Easy run there by Hunuki, and it's trying for Niue. They just open up very, very easily there, the Southampton team. Curtis, it's Niue 36, kick to come, South Africa 4.
He dead set looked like Ben Barber 2011 then. That was beautiful.
As a Pacific Islander, the dream that we all have is to play rugby league, and that I'm no different. That was exactly my dream. However, going through life, whether it be God, universe, whatever we believe in, it showcased that that actually wasn't my pathway. And in fact, I'm in a completely different industry that has no relevance to some of the dreams I had when I was growing up. Hi, my name is Hunuki, and I am the founder and owner of a digital marketing agency called RH Media, based here on the northern beaches of Sydney, and we help businesses out there sell online. So ever since I was young, I wanted to be an NRL player. I wanted to play rugby league. A lot of my friends growing up all aspired to do that. So when I first saw my footy boots when I was 8, that was the only path that I saw. There are other avenues and other pathways, but rugby league was where I thought I was destined to end up. Growing up through school as well, everything was based around rugby league. You know, football training in the afternoons, sometimes early mornings, extras outside of the training that we had. But yeah, it was something that I didn't realize was not the journey. However, as I continued pursuing it, there's a lot of things that I learned along the way. Discipline, self-improvement, self-assessment, self-awareness, a lot of things that I look back and realize, hang on, there's a lot of lessons learnt. The biggest thing, however, was actually using failure as one of the biggest drivers, at least what I'm doing at the moment. But going back to league, all I saw was success with league. But when I did get the inevitable envelope, message, letter, whatever it may be, I soon realized that perhaps rugby league wasn't for me. That envelope that I opened up with Dad showcased that, hey, you didn't make that specific squad, that representative squad, although throughout my youth I was fortunate to make it. But that was probably my first calling, rite of passage to determine, hang on, wait, am I actually going to be the one to succumb to this and allow the emotions to get the best of me, or am I going to do something about it? This is where Dad, and I'm very thankful for, had helped me not necessarily dwell in it, but find actions to do something else outside of it. So when I did get that letter, I had just finished year 12. However, because I was young enough, I was able to go to another high school and do year 12 again, but specifically focusing on rugby league. Doing that allowed me to pursue, another path, another way into a rugby league squad, an NRL squad. However, there was another junction point there. Before playing an actual game where a lot of scouts would have seen me, I would say, at my best, my grandmother passed away, and she was over in New Zealand, very close to us. A lot of my family live over in New Zealand, but when I was given the option to either play in front of these scouts to hopefully make another NRL squad, the choice was very easy. I was able to go to New Zealand, spend time with my loved ones, spend time with my family, especially mum, and that was the end of that career, or at least that path. Injuries as well did also encourage me to move away from rugby league, but at the time I didn't know. One of the things I also have to give credit to is both my parents, because whilst I was also playing rugby league, I had a vast interest in technology. I've been using a computer ever since I was able to walk, and that led me up to a whole new career and a whole new path that at the time I had no idea. And I'm very grateful for my parents for allowing me to be able to do that with them. So RH Media started off actually being a passion. I've been using social media since I was, 17, First it was MySpace, then Bebo. And then I realized, well, hang on, I've been using social media for so long. Perhaps there's a service out there, perhaps there's something I could do. And lo and behold, that's where RH Media started. RH Media started off as the ability to be able to share stories for other business owners out there and their products and services. And one of the key things here was seeing how perhaps a lot of people out there were seeing social media as something that maybe isn't or shouldn't be looked upon as a professional service. Television, newspaper, magazine ads, they were the forms of advertising. But I also saw that, hang on, wait, there's so many people on social media, literally billions, where if you can actually tap into the advertising aspect, that can pay a lot of dividends for those businesses. So I actually, funnily enough, signed my first clients for RH Media whilst I was still working at that business, working with the company, the IT company I was with. And it was actually very encouraging to know that, well, hang on, if it's that easy to sign up, surely I can do that as a 9 to 5, as for at least my 9 to 5. Little did I know though that that wasn't the case. There were a lot of peaks and troughs, if anything. There was a lot of downtime where I was like, this business should be going the way that I thought it would go. But business doesn't go in a line like that. I'm sure everyone's seen that. Business, for me at least, went like this, everywhere. It just wasn't what I expected. However, we now serve a number of clients all around Australia, all around the world as well, which is exciting. And also noting that we don't have an office. One of the things before COVID was that myself and 4 others would be all around the world working together on exciting projects, whether it be running ads for businesses, whether it be building out funnels, or just creating social media content for businesses out there. That was really exciting, and that's how RH Media came about. One thing I had from my dad before he passed away was he said, son, go for it. I started RH Media in December 2018. My old man passed away January 2019. But the one thing that I still remember to this day is how he was very encouraging on whatever avenue I wanted to pursue. Yes, he'd have his own thoughts and he'd give it to you even though you didn't want it. But I'm forever grateful and forever thankful for the encouragement of, if that's what you want to do, son, go for it. Don't stop. And if there is a message out there for anyone watching or listening, it'd be doing the exact same thing. Having his words and his legacy push on to other people out there who perhaps don't have those figures in their life, or perhaps are looking for just something to just get them out of maybe their head, just to go out there and do it. Because the worst thing that can happen is that you figured out that, hey, that probably isn't what I wanted to do, or probably isn't where I was meant to be. So I thank the old man for that quite a bit. So what's next for RH Media? What's next for Robin? The biggest thing that I have here at the moment, or at least in this thought, is doing more for others, is being able to go and actually give back. Whilst I'm still learning the ropes of life, and whilst I'm still learning how to do certain things like raise a 2-year-old, the one thing that doesn't leave me is the fact that there's a lot more that we can do. So as an example with RH Media, we've got goals where we are going to build these quantum pods on the small island of Niue. Now, these are very important things for the kids over there, and how we're able to provide information, give information to the kids, give different types of education. Education, I feel, has been perhaps lacking in terms of how it's delivered. I think there's a lot that technology can provide kids in third world countries, in up and coming countries, emerging countries, that perhaps don't have that level of access. So that's one thing that we're very passionate about building and being able to do. And secondly as well is just continuously learning. I think being a father of a 2-year-old, that there has been perhaps my biggest challenge to date. And although I've had all this fundamental, valuable upbringing of information, experience, values, it's still not the same when you're actually trying to apply that. So there's day-to-day things that I do with Tama, my son, that I feel I'm still very much learning, still very much in that learner's space. So if there's one message I'd love to give to anyone out there watching or listening is, by all means, just don't stay stuck in the confinements that you've been given. There's a lot more that you're capable of doing, and there's a lot more that the world can be given if you were to actually go out there and pursue what you love doing. Now, granted, it's not going to be a straight line. It's not going to be something where you could, see the end and literally take one step to step, 100. There's so many pitfalls and downfalls, and one of the things I really enjoy is those lessons, are those pitfalls, because number one, it showcases that that's not the way, so you'd have to go a different way. But secondly, when you come across something very similar to that, you know how to address it, or at least you have the experience to be a lot more conscious of which way to go about. So again, just continuously get out there. Don't be afraid to fail. So yeah.